Hey guys. I don't understand why I can't. Oh wait, this is actually reading, we just can't see it? What? Seems odd to me. I'm trying to fix a... Hey Tater B, how's it going? I'm trying to fix a thing on the screen here real quick. Trying to fix the recent donor thing to actually show recent donors and not just be blank. I don't know why it's blank. Wait, what is this even controlling? Properties. Well, I can just delete this. Sorry, I'll get to work in just a second. Total weekly. It should be everyone in the last 30 days. But it's just not showing for some reason. Because of course it's not, you know. Whatever. Anyways. How's everyone doing? I need to finish this scene. There's like literally barely any left. I don't know why I haven't done it yet.
Capturing the things gets expensive.
Capturing the things gets expensive. Yeah, it should be working through Streamlabs, that's the thing. But it just for some reason it's not showing up. I don't know why. Hey Damien, how's it going? I'm gonna use, let's see. I think I'm gonna use this for backgrounds. Wait, what? Refresh the links in OBS. How do you do that? Because it's like I've gone under the properties and changed it a couple times. It doesn't seem to have changed. And when I click on it, it does say... Let me try something weird here. Oh. What the heck is this? What have I clicked on? There's a giant window here. Alright. Oh, that's not gonna help. I'm just gonna delete this. Yeah, remove recent donor. And I'll just copy... I'll just copy one of these other ones. Okay, yeah, now it's working. Huh. Well, that's weird. Whatever. I made it work. Let me, go into Streamlabs real quick. Go into the settings. Hey, Smash Boy, how's it going? Good old OBS. I'd like to know why this isn't formatting the way I want it to, though. That's a little annoying. There should be a separator between the names, and there isn't one. Can I just add them into here? Whoa. Yeah, there it worked. Streamlabs is being weird. It's pretty mixed. Huh? I'm doing alright. Kind of having a chill night here. I'm trying to fix something in OBS. Or in Streamlabs, rather. Oh, it's being doofy. It might just be buggy. I don't understand. Alright, let's just restart the session. Maybe that'll do it. It's not doing it. Yeah, there's a bit in there. Well, that's a follow, actually. I don't know what it's doing. It's just it's having fun with those 2 copper coins. It didn't like them gold coins moving in on its territory or something. Dang it. I'd reset it, but I don't care. It's fine with me. I'm always entertaining? Oh, I'll try to be. I feel like I used to be more entertaining on Twitch, and then now I'm less. Some of that's to do with the fact that I'm not gaming anymore. I used to have a lot of fun with games, but I've gone back and watched some of those clips, and it's difficult to show those things to people without them like being a fan of that sort of thing anyway. Whereas doing this kind of stuff seems more like universal. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. Because it's like, I have a lot of really funny clips from, like, Tomb Raider, for example. Which I would love to play again. But it's like, you know, I'll go back and look at them, and I'm just like, oh, like, this is funny to me, but if I were just, like, to show this to some random person as, like, an example of work that I used to do, they would just be like, so what's this? Like, what's the point of this, you know? I have a lot of fun with Ark. Ark is also very slowly paced. I'm at my best. You have no idea. I'm at my best when I can when I'm playing like a single player like story based kind of game, like adventure games in particular. I seem to have the best time with. But you know, those don't last. Whereas a game like Ark or Minecraft has like insane return value. So. I really enjoy playing through, like, if I had a thing that I did, and this could actually, like, you know, last a while, and it wasn't just like, you know, oh, this will last me a year, and then I'm gonna run out of content. Old games from, I don't know, like late 90s-ish, you know, that were coming out on, like, PlayStation 1, PC. That era of games is like my favorite to dive into and like really dissect and have fun with on Twitch. But you know, there's not a lot of titles from that era that are, you know, that are usable in that capacity. So it's like, well. Oh, had to spot a lag there, apparently. Oh, really? What was the anime like? And in my opinion, I agree with you, Tater. I think there's been a lot of really good releases in the indie market, and I think there's been a lot of good material towards the very end. So, like, on the Nintendo Switch had, like, Breath of the Wild, for example, which, you know, people are saying is, like, the best game ever made or whatever. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. But there were some good releases. It's just, like, I feel like it used to be the case that back in the day, and I don't know how much of this is bias, right? How much of this is just like, oh, I had more time back then or whatever. But I feel like, you know, back when I was, like, much younger, I feel like even bad games were typically, like, you know, I don't want to say worth playing. I don't know. It's hard to say. There was a lot of games that were entertaining to play all the way through, and yeah, there was that too. I was thinking about that. About how just like nowadays it's like, you know, you'll pay for a game and it's like you get half a game, you know? Sorry. I need to do this again, because I always make Suka's head way too high up. Yeah, because I was just thinking about that, how, like, back in the days before DLC even, like, while I was talking about an old game I played on the PlayStation called Tenchu, right? It's a stealth, like, ninja game. And I played the second one, Tenchu 2, and it was a big game. Like, there were like 3 or 4 different campaigns in it, and you know, it would take you like a good while to beat. And like, it had its own level editor and everything. This is a PS1 game, and it had all these things. Nowadays, it'd be like, oh, you want all that stuff? You got to pay for each campaign separately. You're gonna have to pay for the level editor separately, pay for the multiplayer separately, and we're gonna release, you know, DLC and DLC and DLC. It's just ridiculous. Oh my goodness. I'm getting YouTube trolled over here. But yeah, it's, you know, it's ridiculous. It's a bit of a mess these days. Pfft. Hey, look what I did. I made the head too high up again. YouTube says hi. I had to ban someone just now, sorry. Jesus. I need to get some moderators to keep an eye on that shit. It's only gonna get worse from here on out. Oh, I put up a commissions page, by the way. It's not linked anywhere, though. So I know that's useful. Oh, like, character art commissions. So, like, this really only applies to, like, role-playing communities, I guess. I need to set up commissions for other things as well, so it's like you can commission me to draw, you know, whatever. But I finally got it set up. It's just not linked to, it's on my Tumblr. I need to friggin' link it to my Twitch page and all that still. I'll do all that tomorrow, maybe. I could do it right now, I guess. But, so hopefully they'll start bringing in some cash. That'd be nice. I always forget how short Sika is. should probably monetize my live streams too, huh? The only goofy thing with monetizing my YouTube live streams is that most of you are watching from Twitch. Very seldomly someone will pop up on YouTube. I don't even know how much money I'd be making from that sort of thing. Like, probably almost nothing. I'll keep them unmonetized so that, like, I don't need to put up with copyright claims, I guess, but you get them anyway from playing music and stuff, so there's almost not even a point. I think... copy this. Actually, do I need to copy this? I guess not.
I'm sure with your draconic knowledge, you...
I'm just gonna copy this. We're getting lazy. I think that's what she says.
could help us poor humans. Could help.
Yeah, she doesn't say little. Not that it really matters. Could help us poor unfortunate souls. I'm staying my slippers in a top of cocoa. What? 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 A what? A what? That's fine. And I'll do more with the animation, but as long as the shot's here, who cares? Well, not to brag. Okay. But then that's the end of that scene. Hooray! Alright, let's put together an animatic. Look at that beautiful art. Oh wait, did I open After Effects? That's not what I wanted to open. Get out of here, After Effects. We don't want you open right now. I haven't played Arc on here in a while, have I? Maybe we'll do something like that. After I put this together. Or something. I don't know. I probably should. I probably should keep doing work on animation, shouldn't I? Alright, we want Premiere open. How do we export this? I know I used to. What's this button do? Oh shit. Sketch print. I could have set a time lapse and people could have been like, ooh, look at this time lapse. It's okay though. As you can maybe tell down here, it's like it doesn't it's not really keeping track. Well, I stopped keeping track of how long these shots needed to be a while ago. This isn't the storyboard. What? Oh, I'm getting memory loss. Hold on. It's because I have like everything open. I think it's funny that I'm at a point where I potentially need a better computer. Or I just need to at least uninstall a bunch of shit off of here, if nothing else. I guess I can close World of Warcraft, or not World of Warcraft, Battle.net. That'll save us some memory. What an embarrassing thing to have to keep up with. The supermoon? No, I didn't. No, don't save. Now I believe... Let me pull this over here and take a look. I need to see if I had exported the audio lines for scene 1, because I would like to work on scene 1, just to switch things up a bit. Yeah, here we go. Is this still closing? Come on. Yeah, I noticed it crashed. Thanks. Alright, let's open up a new file. I'm going to go ahead and just save this real quick. Oh, poor Damien. Okay. Toll the Lost. Toll of the Lost. Let's see. We need episode FLAs for episode 102. This is scene 001. Let me see what I've been naming the other. Okay. Episode 2, scene 3, 1. Oh. Poor Damien. Doesn't get to see moons. Alright, let's import all of their audio in. Oh, I need to open up another file here real quick. animation art, total lost character art. Ignore this. I'm probably gonna delete this in the end, actually. Dang it. Why is Sika on the Louis layer? That's not correct. Oh, I never organized their stupid eye masks? Really? Oh, I guess not. Let's make sure I do that. That'll be fine for now. I'll go ahead and put these. Oh, hey, Yadios, how's it going? Okay. So I wanted to organize this differently than how I was doing it before. Because before I ended up with like a million fucking little files and I hated it. I don't have storyboards for this scene. I guess I'll save this then for now. I have to come back to it when I have a storyboard for it done. Or I could just go storyboarding more. Okay, let's close this. Okay, opening shot. In my head, I know what I want to do, but I'm not sure if it necessarily works. I want to avoid doing something similar to episode 1, where it starts in like a still shot. That's kind of what I was thinking, though. Well, yadios. I was thinking of sitting down and playing more Ark or something tonight. Ark or, I don't know. You're wide awake now. What do you guys think? I do have more storyboards to do here, but let me get started on this storyboard at least, because I haven't done like any work today, and that's terrible. What else do I have installed on Steam, by the way? Let's take a look. I never did finish Hat in Time. There's gonna have to be a night of that. Have there been any more updates on Subnautica? There hasn't been. September 14th was the previous Subnautica update. Well, you guys can mention things. If you can think of anything. I just want to chill. I don't know. Okay, so I know this episode they're in a swamp. They're in like a spooky, foggy woods. But I want to start. Like, the episode needs to start on a shot that's very clear, where we get a lot of distance, and then it needs to descend into being claustrophobic. That's how it needs to play. Preferably, it needs to go from like yellows and greens down to a blue as well. I mean, what I wanted to do was, all I can imagine is starting it with, like, you know, putting, like, mountains in, Why is this... It's very odd. I wonder why that's starting up so thickly. Huh. Well, see, what I was thinking of having was just like, you know, mountain range in the distance. With, you know, trees and shit. Basically where episode 1 leaves off. But see, I already don't know if I like this, because then, like, the camera pulls down, and, like, trees can get... I mean, I can do a beautiful shot, but I want something that's, like, I want something with a little bit more motion in it. I want something with a little bit more, like, oomph to it, besides just, like, oh, here's a pretty, you know, mountain scenery. Oh, jeez. I guess what I'm avoiding is just doing another big cold open. Whoops. That might be even more boring though. I mean, I've got another idea I could do, but I don't know how good it works. Because I was thinking about doing... What the heck? I was thinking about doing something where you've got, like... like this, with, you know, dirt and junk, and this is like a water puddle. And then in its reflection, you can see, like, you know, spooky trees and shit, you know, in the sky. But this might even be even more, you know, boring. Because, see, I could do this, and then, like, what would happen is the wheel of Louise's carriage would come rolling in, you know, this direction, and just splash through it. And then the camera would then pan up, and we get the back view of Louise's carriage going down the road. The thing I don't like about this, though, is it starts out claustrophobic. I mean, the only depth we get is looking at the reflections in the water puddle, which, I mean, it works, but I don't know if it necessarily achieves exactly what I want. Not to mention, it also gives the impression that this is a road well traveled. You know, you're not gonna have, like, I want them to be lost. I want them to be lost in these woods. Like, they don't know where they are. Maybe they're not even on, like, the road should be overgrown. There shouldn't be just, like, water puddles and mud. Like, it's been, you know. So. Which is why I was thinking of starting in the other one. Where it's like, you know, you've got the distance, you know, you've got all the depth of the scenery that then is pulled down into something more claustrophobic. It's very... very basic. It's very generic, but it might be the best way to do it. It is just very similar to episode 1. But it's a good default. See, what I could do is have like a tree in the foreground. So we have this big tall like evergreen, right? And it's got like branches sticking out. With like, you know, pine needles and you know, pine cones and shit hanging from them. And then like a bird would go toot 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 toot, and it would sit here, and then, you know, I could do something with that. And then it would pan down, but it just doesn't mean anything. It's like it's just like a, you know, an interesting shot. Let me think. Let me think. Man, I don't know. I might need to figure this out off stream, to be honest. Just because, like, I need to be at my most creative, and it's difficult to do while I'm on stream. Like, I need to just be quiet and have, like, music playing and, like, be pacing around. I'd say that I could skip it and just go on to the next board. But a lot of these opening shots really hinge on the context I'm giving in these opening shots, so I don't know. Nah, not necessarily. I know a shot that I could put together. Hold on. Seriously. You know what else? I mean, not. Let's use a different tool here. Oh, I hate how it does that. This nice fisheye with the road at the bottom and the woods on either side. If that's what this looks like, I hope. I'm just kind of scribbling. Man. That's gonna have to do. Me and this tablet. I need a better setup. That's what I should be doing. I shouldn't try to make just big, solid, straight lines. I need to just be... That's too close. Hold on. I guess I should have drawn a... This music sounds like hip-hop beats. Yeah. Someone suggested it to me, and I've been like, eh. I didn't like it yesterday, but I like it today. Dang it. So I'm drawing Louis here, and for some reason I really wanted to give him an eye patch. I don't know why. I don't know, whatever. That's probably fine. Louis green in this, by the way. His car is blue, Louis green, Valderos is yellow, Sika's red. Let's make a new board, but then let's do this. And he goes, "Why, this fog is binding our vision tighter than a lady's corset." Which didn't show up for some reason in the thing like it's supposed to. I don't understand. Why can't I see it there? Your character needs a great entrance, it says. I think his head's too big in this early shot. Wait, no, you know what I'll do? Is he'll say "bah." We go "bah" on this bit. I think his face is too fat. Have I forgotten how to draw Louis? Am I just drawing a weird version of Valderos? It's entirely possible. It's close enough. Technically has a gloved hand. Okay. Just... Yeah, the coins are going crazy. I think it's funny. Now that would be cool if I could set that up. That'd be brilliant. Let's pop up in Photoshop. Well, there's one way to get the coins to stop bouncing, and that's to donate more money to make it fall on top of them. Wait, I didn't need to open this. I just needed to take this and scale it down. What am I doing? Why can't I click on this? Okay. I see you, sellout. Look, I have made it very clear that if someone gave me the option to sell out for a bunch of money, I'd probably do it. Look, you know, I don't get that attached to stuff, right? Like, when it comes to, like, if someone were, like, buy a property of mine for a bunch of money, I'd be like, sure. And then I'd just go make a new property after that, if I wanted to keep doing stuff, you know? I'd just be like, whatever. I know that I'm a creative genius, so who cares? I don't remember what Louis' car looks like. Uh-oh, what's happening? Uh-oh. Oh no, why did it delete it? Is it because it was open in Photoshop as well? Here, let's do this. Can I just copy this? Oh man, Mark, you better never ever move to LA. Let me tell you, you're gonna be surrounded by people calling each other names. Not to mention sexually assaulting everybody. Jesus. Let's see. I'm confused. Why? Can't I just save this as a thing? I've got an interesting idea. Let's export this blank one. There. Burbank. Yeah, I was in Burbank. I guess you didn't know. I'm sorry. I was hanging out with Demax. Well, look. Why can't I edit this? What's wrong with it? Can I just close this, maybe? I can't edit this one either. What? I want to draw it in storyboarder. Huh. It's odd. I see what happened. I guess whenever you open up a file in Photoshop, it messes it up. Oh. Yeah, no, I was out visiting friends. That's all. But I was just thinking, it's just when you said that about Notch, Mark, it had me thinking about how, like, it's like there's this phenomenon going on where it's like everybody's a douchebag sooner or later. I don't know that I've heard anyone else comment on this, but it's just like it doesn't seem to quite matter who it is or what they do or what they've said in the past. It just seems that, like, sooner or later everybody becomes a douchebag. and then I was also thinking about, like, how many people, you know, like tier 1 profile YouTubers, you know, will be super friendly to the camera, but then, like, off camera they're horrible, mean douchebags. They might not even say anything, like, mean on Twitter, or to, like, they might not even say, like, you know, a lot of the unacceptable things we're throwing people under the bus for nowadays, but they'll be terrible, terrible douchebags to people and just be, like, the worst kinds of people ever. But then there will be somebody who is a genuinely good person, but then they'll drop, like, they'll say something awful. Like, they'll say something like, I don't mean, like something political, but they'll say, like, a bad word or whatever, and then everyone's like, that's it, they're the worst out of everybody. And it's like, I don't know, like, a lot of the actions and a lot of the things that these people do off camera, like, tend to be the reverse of what you expect anyway. Yeah, there's that too. I don't know, it's just the more this stuff keeps happening, the more, basically, I guess the way I'm thinking about this is just that, like, don't trust anybody. Like, you may as well not, you know, like, you may as well just not care about any of these people, because, like, the majority of them are douchebags, so I don't know. Then again, like, a lot of the people in question are people that I never really watched anyway, so... It's just amazing, and like, even then though, like, you'll hear stories about people, but it's like, you don't know. You don't even know if those are true, because a lot of times people are biased. I don't know. It's a whole thing. Like, it's something I was talking about during my trip with somebody. I was very drunk, and they were very drunk, and we were sitting in their kitchen, and we were having one of those, no, wait, let me just say this, you know, kinds of arguments. But I was basically saying that, you know, the media industry, YouTube included, is essentially high school, and everyone circling in it, you know, it's like you've got your circles, and you've got your, like, oh, don't say this about that person because that could send ripples down this way, and then you have to deal with this problem, and you're burning that bridge, and it's all just such BS, like, to the point that I don't think it's even worth, like, really giving a crap about, you know? It's like someone will come out and they'll say something heinous, and then they'll apologize for it a few months later and be like, oh, that's not what I meant, or whatever. But then they'll say something else, like, right after the fact, you know, so... it's worse than the rest, because, I mean, like, high school, you're right, high school kind of never does end, but it's worse in that industry than it is in most other industries, so... Of course he doesn't apologize, Mark. He doesn't rely on anybody else to keep his business afloat at this point. So he doesn't have to apologize anymore. That's what I'm saying, is that a lot of people will have these heinous opinions that they just won't share with anybody because they don't want it to, like, damage their ability to continue making money in the future. Like, they'll mind their manners, you know? He does too have a business. Like, look, it might be a small and poorly run business, but it's a business and he's a millionaire, so... The thing is, he's got enough money at this point that he can basically just do and say whatever he wants. And also, I don't know Notch. I've never known anyone that's known Notch, but let's put things in perspective. Imagine you're the creator of Minecraft, and you've got people busting down your inbox and knocking on your door every single day to tell you how much they hate you because you did something and you made a change in Minecraft they think is shit. And it's like, this is just torrential. This never stops. This is people all day, every day, trying to get at you, sending you death threats, you know, for stupid menial stuff like you created Endermen, right? There's gonna be a breaking point. It doesn't matter. I think this is something Total Biscuit talked about, where it's just like, there's gonna be a breaking point. It doesn't matter how cool or slick you are. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are. There will be a breaking point sooner or later. So... That's all I'm gonna say about that anyway. Like, I have a certain sympathy for people like Notch, who are in the position that they're in. It doesn't excuse things that they're saying, but I can see the cause and effect from how a person goes from being like a regular person or whatever you want to say, just to something that goes on Twitter and calls everyone a bunch of cunts every day. Like, I can see that line, like how that can happen, so... Oh no, not this again! Also, like I said, I think I've forgotten how... I know there's like a... I'm gonna try to do this without looking up a reference. Yeah, good grief. I'm just now looking at Mac's message. Don't send ripples down the stream or you'll burn the bridge. You know, that's a whole different subject, Yadi. I was thinking about game devs. It's like a lot of the problems you'll see in the video game market aren't even like generally because of the developers. Like it's usually because of like the corporate overlords and stuff like that. I don't know how else to put it. Why am I drawing this? On the guide layer? Good grief. I wanted to just... I guess I wanted to figure out where to put Cascara. Oh, jeez. Well, it's so difficult because, like, you are one person. Like, you and me are, like, one person, right? So, whenever me or you gets mad, let's say we're the kind of people who would get mad and we would send angry messages to a developer or an artist or a YouTuber or whatever. We're not those people, but let's just say for the context, the argument that we are. We're one person. We're gonna say, like, I'm personally offended by this, that, or the other in this game, or I'm gonna send this angry thing, and I'm gonna send it off. You're one person. You don't really tend to realize that, like, you're seeing it as a one-on-one interaction, but to the person on the other end, they're getting this from, like, a million people, you know, for days and days and days and days. And it's like... I can, you know, like, I mean, it wears a person down. I mean, like, I think I think it was Total Biscuit that said this, where, you know, people who are, like, otherwise mentally healthy need to start going to therapists and stuff to help cope with this kind of thing. So when you're in that industry, like, just because it's so insane, like, the number of people that they have their opinions or whatever. And it's just not something an everyday person tends to think about, you know, like, just what it's like on either end of the scope. It's why a lot of people say don't read the YouTube comments, you know. Let's see, so I'm just gonna put Cascara, like, I guess she'd be... She's gonna be sitting down, so... But, you know, it's... I don't know if I have a whole lot more to say on the subject anyways. You know what I like about Louis' car? Is that the steering wheel is on the right-hand side. Like, that's intentional. Game Grumps, yeah. Well, and that's something else I've heard from multiple people at this point, too. That it's like... well, that's a whole different subject, actually. I don't have to go into that. I was just thinking about, like... You know, Aaron on Game Grumps, and how, like... You know, it's like he just hates it or whatever. It's like, you know, he got out, he wanted to do animation or whatever, and then got into Game Grumps, and then it's just been Game Grumps ever since. And it's like taken over his life or whatever. I don't know how true any of that is. I've heard that from like 3 different people that know him. It's just interesting. I mean, it's his fault. Let's be fair, but you know, I mean. I think it's super interesting. Again, completely separate point here. This has nothing to do with like personalities or whatever, but I think it's interesting with Let's Players how, you know, they it's like the kind of thing that a lot of people got into because they were thinking, oh, this will be easy. I'm gonna play video games and make a living just playing video games and being this like YouTube personality who gets on camera and is just like, whoa, you know. You don't have to complain about Ross. I'm talking about Let's Players in general, but it's fine. The thing is, it's interesting because a lot of Let's Players, you know, end up regretting it. Like, it becomes so taxing. It's like getting these videos out constantly, and it's like after a while you just hate doing it. You just hate being on that treadmill. And then YouTube fucks you at the end of the day. People claim your content, and it's miserable. Like, it's like the most miserable thing ever. I don't know. I think that's interesting how we've had that evolution of it's interesting how I feel like me and a few other people sort of saw the decline. Right, we sort of saw the decline of Let's Playing, right? Actually, just go ahead and merge this down, leave it down. Whoop. You know, but it's like when it was, we only noticed it when it was already saturated, though. When it was like, oh yeah, this is a bubble that's gonna crash, or pop rather. It's like you never notice these things till you're after the fact. It's like what's really popular on YouTube right now, and that's probably the next bubble that's gonna crash. And in fact, I think it probably already is. I would say vlogging is the big one right now, where it's like you have a lot of people who become, you know, multi-millionaires just by just being vloggers. And it's like, how long is that gonna last? I think it might already be on the decline, just because we're seeing, you know, YouTube cracking down on like quote unquote hateful content, you know, and then like I say quote unquote because like they're sweeping up a lot of stuff that generally isn't. But like, you know, what are you gonna do? It's a computer-based automated system, so like, what's the next thing? Like, there's just no way to know. You just gotta be lucky to get into it on time, or early rather. I am drawing Louis standing in his car. Normally his hair's not that visible. Dang it. I guess I'll do the hat first. Whatever. I guess I could just erase it. What am I doing? I'm being super ridiculous about this. This is just funny, because, like, I actually have a different way I draw Louis at this point, but whatever. You know what? It wouldn't be a, this just comes straight across like this. Poor Cascara with her pumpkin-shaped head. She doesn't have a head this shape in the show, but it's just easier to draw quickly. I feel like drawing the rest of this like as a Corvette. They're like going down the street. I'm actually super proud of a lot of the Britishisms that show up in this show. That I make sure to pay attention to. You know, we're like... I like that the wheel of Louis' car is on the other side than it is like in, you know, non-England countries. Colony countries, whatever you want to call it. Which makes more... I mean, it makes more sense to me because of the time period that I feel this is trying to represent. But, like, there's also, like, you know... like, the other characters won't do this. Like, the non-English accent characters don't do things like this. But, for example, like, Valderos or Sika will refer to, like, you know, pants as trousers instead of pants, because it's, like, you know, it's a different dialect or whatever. Like, I try to have a head for some of the cultural stuff to keep it consistent.
Nice to meet you. I'm Autumn.
She's so annoyed. I mean, she's obviously annoyed at Louis for being like, who does this? I mean, imagine you're driving a car and your passenger's like standing up in the passenger seat, a hood on the fucking windshield with a spyglass. I'm the navigator. I love this. Yeah, sure, whatever. But with a lot of the fantasy elements, I want to give it like. I mean, you know, I guess thinking about it, I probably should put the wheel on either side, only because it is supposed to represent, like, you know, the era of like human industrialization. You know, like all their cars and stuff like that, which would be, it doesn't even matter what country you're looking at. Are you looking at like American, you know, like the railway tycoon, what would you call it? The whole like railroad industry popping up like over the states, or like, you know, cars in Germany or like whatever. Yeah, it's like it would be on the other side of the car. The reason why it's on the side of the car from a filmmaking standpoint is to adhere to the 180-degree rule later in the scene. But I think in my mind it's like when I personally think like fantasy, I tend to think of like, you know, very like, you know, England style stuff. So it's like I think that might be why I'm thinking about it like that. What would be funny? One thing I make fun of you for pointing out. Also, like, another funny thing I could do, I could in the future set it up where every other car, so like in this universe, Louis' family, I tend to imagine is like filthy rich, right? He's run away from home or whatever, but like maybe they have their own cars, like in their own car industry. Who knows? Maybe that's why they're rich. And all of their cars are left-hand side driving, and then every other person who builds cars does right-hand side driving. And they're just like, well, clearly our way of building these cars is better. It's like, it could be like a funny commentary, but that would be quite the joke to include. Oops. So I just don't have the establishing shots leading up into this because I'm not sure what they ought to be. So I guess here... Oh, you mean the 180-degree rule is what you're saying, Mark, that we always make fun of you pointing out. The only reason why I make fun of you for that is because how frequently you point it out. It's like, over anything else going on. It's like, if there's a 180-degree rule, that'll be the first thing that gets mentioned. Okay. Well, okay, what do you mean by people? Do you mean in general? Or do you mean, like, specific people? Or do you mean, like, amateur filmmakers, or like what? Well, bear in mind. See, when people criticize me, whether they're being harsh about it or not, I try to listen to what they're saying. I'm a minority in this case. I think Mark, when you tell people, when you're like, oh hey, you should try this, you tend to come off as rather condescending, and then immediately people are just like, oh, I don't want you to listen to this. Oh, you know, so like I think that's why you tell people something and then they don't seem to listen, and then you just get more mad, and then like it just escalates into this problem. Well, maybe not necessarily anymore, but I generally think that's... Also, you got to think about the people you're saying this to as well. Like, I think most people seem to have this weird complex. I think that most people, especially filmmaking and acting, bear in mind that actors are... I feel like actors are naturally competitive. This is something Xander had said at one point about, like, karaoke. We're doing karaoke with singers sucks, because if you're a singer, you know, you're not doing karaoke, for example, to have fun. You're doing it to show off. And I think the same thing goes for people who are, like most people who are putting themselves on camera. This isn't everybody, by far. There's plenty of people who are even successful that aren't like this. But I think that a lot of people who put themselves on camera, who really build up their personality, who really... You know, they get out there, they're drawing, they're showing themselves off. It's just that, they're showing themselves off. It's like a way of bragging, I think, for a lot of people. Which is why I think a lot of them take criticism so harshly, where they'll get a message back and then they'll just be like, oh, well, this is full of shit. Like, I don't know how to listen to this, you know, so it's... I'm not really excusing it, I'm just, this is my, like, deconstruction of, you know, like, the whole system. Or whatever, but I think this is why, like, a lot of people have such trouble with it. You also have the added problem on YouTube, where quite a lot of people well, but also, Mark, you're not. It's not like you're a professor at, like, a school that people are paying to go and learn something from either. And that's something you gotta bear in mind. It's like you're just some random guy who's out there soliciting information to a lot of these people. And they're just like, who's this? Why is he telling me how to do my job, you know? I'm not saying that they're doing it correctly and you need to just shut up. You need to just shut up and go away. Like, I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying that it's like, you know... A lot of these people are difficult to approach because... Are they peers, though? I mean... Like, are these people that you regularly communicate with on like a regular basis that you'd consider yourself friends with? Or are they people that you've worked with before that you vaguely know that you know online? I'm not, like... I hate getting like this because I feel like I'm being critical of you. And all I'm really saying is that, like, I think that it's... That, like, there's a lot more personal issues that get in the way of how people... look at and digest their own work. Oh, that's fine. But I think you know what I mean. It's just, you know, a lot of people just see it differently. I don't know. It's... I don't think that I'm necessarily very good at this either. I mean, I think that I'm naturally different in a way that I get excited by stuff and I'll be like, oh my god, have you seen this? But, like, I've also never really tried to approach anyone to say, like, hey, you're doing this incorrectly, or you should try this, it might be better. I've never done that. I usually just stay away. I try to let my work speak for itself if I can, but, you know. Well, at the same time, if you gotta bear in mind, I'm also on a stream, right? I'm sitting here streaming while I'm working, which is distracting enough as it is. Let's be honest. I like doing it because I like talking to people. I'm naturally a sociable person, but I will ultimately have this problem where, you know, there'll be like there'll be someone in the chat going, hey, do this, do this, do this. Like, there'll be the nagging Navi the fairy over here going like, hey, listen, hey, listen, hey, listen. And I'm like, holy crap, let me just work. A lot of times when people make a lot of suggestions, I'll look into it after the fact, like after I get off the stream or something, you know. I mean, it's been said before by people on the stream that I work way faster when I just ignore the chat completely. I don't doubt them. I mean, hell, they're the ones watching it. Oops, I'm not supposed to do it that way. But yeah, I mean, it's just... I don't know. If I had any advice on this subject, I would say just not to get too concerned about some of this stuff, because I don't want to say that it's never going to change. I'm not talking about me necessarily, but I mean, like, other people you're complaining at, they're probably not going to change their ways. Like, if it's, you know, if you've brought it up to them multiple times and they're still not doing anything, they're probably just going to be like, eh, whatever. And at that point, you're just getting yourself upset. So I don't know. That would be my, as far as like advice goes. Not that you're asking for advice. It's something that, like, I can't remember who I said this to. I think I said this to a couple people. But sometimes I feel like I'm just surrounded by sinking ships, you know? Like, there'll be people having problems and you know, like, maybe they feel like they're not going anywhere, or like they're having some kind of financial issues in their lives or whatever. And I'm just seem to be surrounded by people that are just having issues everywhere. And there came a point where I was just like, you know, like, I feel like I always want to help everybody, and like, there comes a point when it's like, I just got to be like, look, I've got a series I'm working on, I've got my old stuff I got to do. Like, there has to come a point when I just say, to hell with it, you know. Like, I'm just gonna be on my little life raft. I'm just gonna scoot slowly off stage right, and just focus on my own work, and that's really all I can do. But I don't know. I've gone and made the subject about me at this point, so. This is a very lazy Cascara drawing, I hate to say. These late night streams and politics and philosophy, eh? Or just life in general. There's a part of me that hates loving talking about this stuff with strangers, because I feel like one of these days I'm gonna get in trouble, but... What? Oh, eh. It's just a very lazy drawing because it's just like, I just kind of scribbled in, like, I didn't really worry too much about it. Like, the facial expression came out fine, but just sort of by accident, to be honest. There's just something so extremely relaxing about coloring things in. Especially circles. How is this line spoken?
Ah! This fog is banding our vision tatters in a lady's corset!
If you relate one more thing to women's clothing, I'm burning your luggage.
I was wondering if there was a pause between clothing and I'm... Because if there was, I was going to add another shot where it cut to a flat shot of the two of them. Which would help with the transition into the next line. Which is...
I'm surprised you've lasted this long, honestly. I already want to burn down this entire wretched forest. I'm surprised you've lasted this long, honestly. I already want to...
Because I'm thinking she should look up as Valderos starts speaking. The problem is Valderos is tied to the top of the car. He's tied to the top, and that's not established at any point prior to this. So if he starts talking now, it's gonna be weird. Like, it's like, oh, where is he? You know, unless one of the characters, like, looks up or something. Although I might just need to establish that ahead of time. Well, that's what I'm thinking, is having Cascara look up. Like, she looks up to, you know, like, up here. I think that's the only clean way to do it. What? That looks better. Well, there's two ways I could do it. The camera could pan up, like I could try to do it without cutting, which would be weird. I think it needs to cut, though. I think I'm just gonna cut to a shot that's far enough away that you can see the road going by, so that we know we're looking down. Well, okay, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Well, he's tied up the other direction, like his feet are at the front. Is the way I imagined it. She looks up and then he's up there laying with his back towards the back of the carriage. I already figured out a lot of the shots I want to do in this. There's just a couple sketchy ones where I'm like, like this scene actually has a shot list to it, to be honest. Well, we get a shot where you see the whole carriage. It's just from a distance, and I don't think you'll be able to see Valderos very well. It's like I said, I can do a shot like this. Right? I can do a shot like this. this is what I had planned on doing. So this would be the road down here, like with tree roots and stuff. I'm just worried that this will be like a weird shot to just suddenly see, where it's like, oh, what the heck? What are we looking at? Yep. Yes, let's close back. I'm not bothering to explain it, whatever. I actually don't mind this shot. I mean, the carriage might wind up being a little bit bigger. I'll do a lot of the consistency stuff. Oh, and then there'll be, like, luggage all around. That he's tied up with. Beverly Hillbilly style. I'll go with this for now. If I decide I don't like it, I'll change it. That's what storyboards are for. Yeah, I know. Oh, by the way, hello, Hero 002013. And I don't know why. I tried to fix that earlier today, Mark, and I couldn't get it to work. So I gave up. I'll figure it out later. I already want to burn down this entire wretched forest. And it's Cascara, then Eternius. Eternius is in the luggage somewhere. He'll pop up. Or maybe he should be tied down too. That'd be pretty funny, actually, if he's like... If Eternius is, like, tied up right here. Like, there's the book or something, you know? Yo. I'll figure something out. I'm getting bugs in my eye. Okay. Why don't they just drive the car to Mount Doom? Oh, this is a new shot. And this is also a new shot. And I believe Cascara says...
Burn down this entire wretched forest.
Hey, pipe down! We agreed you guide us out of here, we let you go.
Okay. There's a lot of cuts in this. So here I was gonna do, like, the whole car. Like, that's I guess that's the implication, isn't it? Well, what am I doing? No, I guess this is fine, whatever. Or who knows, maybe like a whole series of events happened before we got back to the car. Maybe he woke up. You know, maybe he woke up. Maybe they tied him up, and then he woke up, and then he agreed to... Maybe that's when they made the agreement. He flew them back to the car, and then they tied him up again. Yes. A whole series of unfortunate events. Good show, by the way. Poor Louis' car. It gets destroyed in this episode. Spoiler alert. Like, it just... Hey, look, what I forgot to do in the previous shot is draw the water tank that's on the back. I don't quite understand how it's strapped on, though, so I'm going to do something weird. No. No, it gets destroyed near the end. They use his car for stuff. Cascar is still driving, but she's looking up here. And I guess maybe she's pointing at him or something. I don't know. And we already know Louis is still over here being Louis. Whoa. I guess you should have the spyglass up a little bit higher, huh? Got Cascara on this side. I'm just gonna do quick versions of all these characters. Oh, what's that? I bet it's saying I'm out of memory. That can't be. Come on. Seriously. Let's take a look at the task manager and see what I've got plenty of memory left. What are you talking about? Like, I guess I can close this. Whatever. What a drawing. And I think it cuts over to Eternius.
Do not mind the reptile. He's just agitated that, for once, he cannot simply ramble his way out of a situation.
Wouldn't that be funny if it was raining? They could have tied him up inside the car, too. This will be an easy shot. I wonder if I should break this line over 2 shots, though. Where he says, "Do not mind the reptile," and then maybe it cuts to Valderos's reactions to him talking. Oh, yeah, I got a good idea. Look, I got caught up in work. And this is stuff I do need to get done before too long, honestly. I'm getting really close to finishing the scene that I'm on, and I can't just be like, oh, well, I guess I'll wait till I get storyboards done, and the storyboards aren't done. Plus, Mac started watching, and Mac hates video games. And if I start playing video games, he'll show up at my house and break my legs with a sledgehammer, and then he'll cement my feet into a block of cement and drop me in the Delaware River or something. It's difficult to make Eternius smile. I'll figure it out in animation. Okay, whatever. And look, I basically got no work done today, and I need to make sure that I do something. I mean, that's not true, actually. I did do a lot of stuff. I just didn't get as much total lost work done as I wanted to. I got my commissions page set up. I need to add more to it, but at least I got it set up, and then I need to go through and create official links to it, of course, but at least it's set up. I might not do this isometric angle in the end. I might have it be more flat, but we'll see.
I'm agitated because I'm forced to listen to the inane bickering of two feckless humans.
Hey, you want to say that one more time?
Why? Do you not know what feckless means? Allow me to be trenchant. It means incompetent, inept, bad.
Oh gosh. Oh, Mark, you missed the read. I love that line. That's so good. It's funny because I was looking up words for this line in particular. I was looking up words for inane, I think. I think the original line was the two inane humans. I didn't like it. And I thought I'll just use some more obscure words. So I go to like the dictionary. And I'm like, oh, look up words for, I mean, it wasn't inane. It was something. To incompetent humans, I think it was. So I was like, you know, look up bigger words than incompetent, or like more obscure words. And it's like, feckless, incompetent, bad. Like, bad's the last one on the list. Oh, fine, I'll play it again.
Situation.
I'm agitated because I'm forced to listen to the inane bickering of two feckless humans.
Hey, you want to say that one more time?
Why? Do you not know what feckless means? Allow me to be trenchant. It means incompetent, inept, bad.
You know, I think I'm starting to figure out why you overgrown iguanas all died off.
Well, this isn't the final audio. Like, this is just all I do here is I split these into individual lines so that I can basically just save each of these as its own layer. I can then import them into a flash file, and then I can animate around that. I'm still going to edit them from that point and change the timing and everything. Like none of it's final. None of it's final. At the end of the day, what happens is I do all of this, and then once we get to the final, like, the animation's done, right, and I have the video file, I take all the audio that I put into it, like, okay, more accurately, I don't export the audio with it, I just have, like, a silent video. And then that's when I go through and I add back in the audio to sign up to the visuals at the end. And that's when I add in sound effects and things like that as well, so. But yeah, this is all just set up so that I have something to animate to. But none of it's final. The process allows me to make a lot of last minute changes to things, so. Or it makes it a lot easier to make last minute changes. Yeah, I also like doing it this way because it allows the visuals to dictate the pacing, and I think that, I mean, I don't know about everybody, but I think that I'm somebody who's very good at, like, well, I don't know how to phrase this, but I think that I have, like, a pretty good sense of how to pace a scene out. Like, I think I'm good with visuals, you know? So I'll be like, oh, here's a backdrop. And it's like, how long should this be on the screen for, like, us to soak it in, or whatever, you know? And then, so whatever. I just let the visuals dictate the pacing that way. Like, the storyboards aren't even final. I just do these to give myself an idea for the different shots I'm gonna have to draw. Easy shot too, actually, all things considered. What a crazy shot I've drawn here. That's better. Nah, I think that'd ruin the pacing. It also takes away from the point, which is that Valdros doesn't like humans. Which is, like, one of the major points of this episode. Okay. Where are we at? I don't like Casey's. Does that count? No, you have to like it. I'm gonna save this. Oh. Ugh. Now what? It's been 2 hours and 21 minutes. It's not a very long stream, all things considered. I also started really late, though. What are we gonna do, everybody? I guess I could probably just call it here, and then just try to stream earlier tomorrow. Yeah, I've got nothing else to do. I'd go play some games, but it's a little late in the day to get started on something like that, so... I don't know. I feel like I'm to a good stopping point with storyboards. And I got a pretty good, decent amount of work done. I could go play Ark. I'm gonna have to stop and restart the stream, though, to just go stream on Twitch. Because I don't like streaming games on YouTube, obviously. I'm gonna stop and take a break. I'll be back, I guess, for like, I don't know, an hour and a half or something, or I don't know, I'll figure something out. But I need to get a drink of water anyway. So I'll see you guys in a bit.